Hey, what's up? This is Alex Chu, and today I want to talk to people about why we have Federal Reserve. How come Federal Reserve is created in the first place? Sorry, hold on a minute. Okay. Today I want to talk about Federal Reserve. You know, how come Federal Reserve was created in the first place, okay? Anyway, before I say that, my name is Alex Chu. I am the guy who invented the immortality rings that you put on your small fingers during sleep. These are plastic rings covering magnets, okay? What they do is they stop you from aging. Once you put on the rings, you don't age anymore. You become physically immortal. I mean, for example, I'm already 47, you know? And I still look pretty good, you know. I still look pretty young. And what happened is you wear them at night during sleep, you know, and then you take them off in the morning. You don't age anymore. And I have lots of good testimonials from people from Amazon customers. You know, I have like 42 Amazon customer reviews. 80% of them are 5 stars and 4 stars. You know, if you go to my website, I'll show you a link to the Amazon customer reviews. If you want to buy one of these rings, okay, you go to livemuchlonger.com, livemuchlonger.com. Okay, just like what it says right there, livemuchlonger.com. Anyway, today I want to talk about why American government established Federal Reserve in the first place. I watch a lot of documentary films, right? Talking about, how the Federal Reserve is set up, J.P. Morgan, this and that, and they establish a Federal Reserve secretly when Senate, took a vacation. All the senators went home and they start, okay, fine. But I watch so many documentaries and stories, I don't see one narrator telling the audience how come they established a Federal Reserve in the first place. Okay, I mean, what is the purpose of Federal Reserve? You understand? Not one narrator tells people in using straight words how come there is a Federal Reserve. No problem. Yeah, I'm going to save you guys the trouble. Today, I, Alex Chu, will tell you why there is Federal Reserve. How come they established Federal Reserve? Well, the reason is actually very simple. You know, they established a Federal Reserve in order to penalize American government from keep on borrowing money or keep on printing money. You can imagine if there's no Federal Reserve, if there's no Federal Reserve, then American government would just keep on printing money, right? Because printing money is free. You understand? You can print $1, you can print $1 million, you can print $1 zillion. It's the same, you know? It's just one piece of paper. You could put you can produce a $1 billion bill if you want. You can produce a $1 zillion bill if you want, right? It's just one piece of paper. You understand? But the problem is, if you don't penalize the government for producing its own money, they are scared of a hyperinflation. You know, just like they don't want something like what happened during Germany after World War One. You know. World War One. After World War One, the government of Germany, they just kept printing money. And what happened is they print so much money that if you want to buy one loaf of bread, it costs 6 million marks. You understand? That's the reason why the bankers, okay, and scholars, they gather together and they said maybe we should establish a Federal Reserve, you know. So the government does not have the right to print their own money anymore. They have to tell the Federal Reserve to print money. And then when Federal Reserve print money, they charge government interest. You know, like, so if the government knows that, we don't have the power to print our money, okay, we don't have the power to print our own money, we have to borrow from somebody else, then you understand, it's like, you know, then the government will not just keep printing money and then, you know, produce zillions of toilet paper bills anymore, right? And then so the loaf of bread would not become $6 million, you know. That's the whole purpose of a Federal Reserve. Well, did it work? No, Federal Reserve did not work. It failed because look at today's our national debt is what it's like $21 trillion right now, $21 trillion, and it's going to keep on going up. It's going to keep on rising. You know why? The reason is because this is democracy. We have a new president every 4 to 8 years. None of the presidents care. You know, I mean, trust me. If let's say I am a president, let's say if I'm the next president, do I care if our national debt goes all the way to $30 trillion? Do I care? No. I still receive my salary. They still give me, like, I don't know how much a president earns, like $500,000 a year or something. They still pay me my salary, you know? And then after I retire, it doesn't matter if I only serve 4 terms or 8 terms. I mean, if I only serve 4 years or 8 years, after I retire, I still live like a king, you know? They guarantee me a mansion. They guarantee me Secret Service. You know, I get bodyguards, and they take care of my you know, my daily expenditures, right? So even if I retire as a president, I can care less. I don't care. I don't care if the national debt goes all the way to 30 trillion, 40 trillion. You know, I don't care. So that's the reason why Federal Reserve did not work in the first place. It did not work. I mean, American presidents don't care. The reason, because this is a democracy, you know. You're not gonna be president more than 8 years. So it's like, why would any president care, you know? I mean, if United States is not a democracy, it's more like a dictatorship, or we run this country like a corporation. Okay, like if you want to become the next American president, you have to come up with your own money. You have to buy the corporation share. For example, if the United States is a corporation, you want to become the CEO, or you want to become the chairman or the president of this country, you're going to have money. You're going to have to buy it. You know, you're going to have to buy this country. You're going to have to play with your own money. Then Federal Reserve could work. You understand? Because you can imagine, if I'm some rich dude like Donald Trump, or if I'm Mark Zuckerberg, let's just say if I'm Mark Zuckerberg, okay? And hey, you know what? I have a potential to become the next president. Because I got money, I could always buy this country. I buy it, and then knowing that this country is $22 trillion in debt, you know, somehow I'm not in it to lose money, right? I buy this United States of America. I buy this country in order to gain money, in order to earn money, not to lose money, right? So I would do my homework before I buy this country, right? How am I supposed to fix this $2 trillion problem? If I buy this country, would this country last long for me and for the citizens of the United States, right? I mean, if we incorporate this country, if we run this country like a corporation, then Federal Reserve could work. You understand? Or if we run this country like a dictatorship, yeah, it could work. Because if I'm a dictator like Saddam Hussein, shit, this whole country belongs to me. You know, everybody is my subject. You know, so the debts, the $22 trillion debt of this country is my debt. It's my personal debt. Then it might work. You understand? Then Federal Reserve does have a meaning. It does serve a purpose. But at our current situation, no, Federal Reserve doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean anything. $22 trillion in debt. What does that mean? What does that mean? To the president, it means just a number. You understand? To the citizens, it's simply a confusing astronomical number that nobody knows how to solve. To the politicians, to the senators, the congressmen, they simply don't care. You know, because they are being taken care of. You know, they want to go somewhere, they still get a private jet. You know, they can cater a private jet. You know, they still get women, they still get their houses and their millions of lobby money, and so that's what I'm saying. I think Federal Reserve does not work in this country. Nobody cares if Federal Reserve charge interest or don't charge interest. You know, the presidents don't care, the politicians don't care, and citizens of the United States, they're simply getting confused. You know, if this country is being run like a corporation, then yeah, Federal Reserve could work, because the CEO of the country or the chairman of the country will always remember, wow, we're $22 trillion in debt. That's not good for the corporation. The corporation shares is going to drop. I'm personally losing a lot of money because of this. They would care, right? And they would try to cut down the cost. And they would try to find some solution to cut it down, Or if this country is a dictatorship, then the dictator will care because, hey, whatever the country owns, is what I own, because this $22 trillion debt is my personal debt, right? The dictator would think like that, But right now, the United States of America, with Federal Reserve, it's just another burden. They're just adding burden to the burden that we already have, So unless this country change the management changes, and we are no longer democracy, and then we manage this country like a corporation or full-blown dictatorship, I think this Federal Reserve should be abolished, really. And then just let the government print its own money. But then we can regulate the way how government print its money. We could have laws like senates and congressmen. They can block government from printing its own money. They could have a vote before you decide to print more money. The senators and congressmen they could have a vote. They could block it. You understand? We don't need a Federal Reserve. Federal Reserve is just another burden. You understand? We are already $20-some trillion in debt. How come we have to pay more interest to the Federal Reserve? Well, anyway, this is all I want to say for today's episode. I hope you guys like my videos. If you like it, please subscribe. Or at least comment this video. Thanks.